many dog trainers really focus on the actual training tools, which I think are very, very important. How to train sit, da 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 da. What about the energy that you're carrying when you train your dog? And how does that affect compliance? How does it affect joy? How does it affect connection and teamwork? And that's what we're going to be exploring through April is the energy behind dog training. And again, today is going to be all around play. So I encourage you to watch the replay. Definitely comment below because that allows me to really, really interact with you. And the more interaction I have, the more I can help you personally and the more everything spreads viral. Definitely share this video with others. I want this out there so we can help more people understand the importance of the human end of dog training, which is all about what dog skills is. So I do also want to let you know, oh, it's so exciting. I'm doing a live in-person event on the energy behind dog training. It's an in-person workshop. It's at Chagrin Yoga on Saturday, April 29th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Definitely sign up. Here is the link to enroll, and I do have that linky link in the comments pinned right at the top as well. So my first question that I wanted to ask you is, what are some things that you think you could do to incorporate more play in your dog training? And comment below and let me know what comes up for you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to make a few notes in my head that's coming up that I would incorporate in dog training to make it more playful. Got a lot of stuff coming up for me. I'm excited to read about what's coming up for you. So we're going to talk about a lot of those different things that you can incorporate, but I also wanted to, question in your head, like, what type of energy do you feel is happening when you use play? So when you incorporate play in dog training versus control, what changes? What happens? What's different? And I'm going to share with you a video here just to kind of give you something to go by. Like, here's a video of two dogs playing. So if you're watching this, what are you feeling energetically yourself? And then what do you think the dogs are feeling energetically? They look like they're having so much fun, don't they? Whoops, going straight to the next video. Um, so when two dogs are playing, a lot of times there's just a lot of like curves going on in the body. Can you see like, oh, that's frame to freeze. That's fine. No, right here, that one's really nice. So you can see how there's curves in the spine. And even the dog below the tail is curved. The legs have some curviness in it. The neck and the back aren't perfectly straight. There's just a lot of like curviness going on. So there's fluidity, right? So play opens up that fluidity. So when you're in that space of fluidity, you have more space. Space opens up collaboration, love, connection, teamwork. Control, constriction opens up problems, do it my way, authoritative, right and wrong, black and white. Do you see the difference? One is more open-minded energetically. The other is more tight and closed. And the more we're coming from that open space, the more easily we can actually create our dreams with our dogs because we're allowing more aliveness to come through and more fun. And that's really what can transform a lot of energy when we're training our dogs. I mean, how many of you guys have heard people say, oh, the dominance theory or be alpha, right? So when you think of alpha and the dominance theory, it feels very pressuring, right? Do it now, do it because they said, very, very, very authoritative, right? So when we're in that sense of play, we are opening up to more endless possibilities and we're able to have this energy where it's more of a give and take instead of do what I say, right? And then I'm going to take from you, right? I'm happier now because you did exactly what I wanted you to do. Versus this energy, I made a request for you to do this, right? I asked you to sit. What are you giving me back? Right? Oh, okay. I'm getting a sense that you feel stressed. Whew. Maybe I'll add some play in here right now. Why don't we play a game of fetch or tug or something to decrease your stress? The dog starts releasing that stress. When he gets back to me, I then request to sit. The dog sits. I receive that calm sit, and then I give a treat. So it's, you feel that give and take. That's what a good dog trainer does when we are tapping into that energetic realm. And you notice like parents that have like really tight relationships with their kids or even, people who have that, best friend that they like to hang out with. There's a lot of that synchronistic energy going on, right? And play can actually open that realm up more because it takes out the seriousness of the situation. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of ways that you can play with your dog. And you can incorporate a play very simply by, just intermixing commands with play. So you could hypothetically, work on come and fetch together. Or you could work on getting your dog to um, sit and stay, and then take some breaks and do tug, right? You could work on settle and go to the place, and then take some breaks and do a go find it game where you just hide some treats around the room. A lot of people don't know about go find it. Hey, there's somebody here. Hi, welcome. So we're tapping into that play and we're talking about different ways to incorporate play so that there's this energy between our dogs that look like this instead of control. Instead of I told you to do this, so then basically you're taking away from your dog, right? I took away from you. I asked you to sit because I said, and the dog is feeling whatever, and we don't have any reciprocation or listening to that, right? It's kind of one-sided. So play opens it up to be very, very, very open, so that there's that fluidity going on, and it feels really amazing. So this video I'm going to share here with you. Let me get up my sharing screen here. be training recall and come while she's doing training. That's pretty close.
Okay, for her to drop it 5 feet in front of me?
I think it is. I don't think we need to be perfectionistic about it. Yeah, go ahead and do it again. So what? Now she could call her dog.
Good girl, Raven. Come on, come bring it. Yes.
Oh, no, dog's a little distracted. Good, I'm glad that's happening. She distracted. She's not.
No, I was stuck in dog food.
Oh, so the ball got stuck. So notice here how now there's that energy that I talked to you about, right? Or it's not like, oh, I said get your butt over here, get over here. The owner's actually then receiving that the dog isn't coming in that moment to play more fetch. So she's going to go and investigate. So there's that give and take teamwork energy going on, right? So she's going to go over here, right? And now we're going to go back to the energy of, okay, now I heard where you were at. The ball was stuck, okay? And I'm going to throw the ball and play with you, and we're back to training that come again.
Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come bring it. Yes. Yes.
There you go. Great. Nice job, Wendy.
I'm coming.
No, you're doing great. It's probably hard for you to hear me back there. I was saying nice job.
Yeah, I got stuck in some sticks and.
Okay. So I want to show it to you some more because I think it can be really fun to watch this. So now we start actually shifting to using 2 balls. So she was doing food reward. Okay. And what can happen now, because we're using the game of fetch to play and to train recall here. And we're actually no longer using any food rewards at this time. When the dog comes back, Wendy has another ball in her hand. And then she's going to go ahead and throw that ball. And she's going to pick up the ball that her dog delivered. So there's going to be this exchange between them. Feel how it feels energetically as this dog is learning to recall, get energy out, and play. Right now.
Good girl. Come on, bring it.
Oh, and this was the time that the long line got stuck. Okay, because we have the dog on a long line here. So again, there's another example of, okay, I'm receiving that the long line got stuck. Right? So now I'm going to listen to where my dog is at, and then solve that problem, which she decided to take the dog off the long line because her dog has a pretty good recall. So we weren't worried about losing the dog. So, and then we're going to then continue with that energetic exchange.
Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Yes.
Dog drops the ball. She picks it up, throws another one.
Bring it. Bring it. Right here. Good girl. Come on.
Come on.
Drop it.
Learning, come on.
Drop it. Good girl, ready?
Learning, drop.
Good girl. Drop it. Drop. Oh. Good girl. Drop it.
Learning, drop.
This way. Go that way. Look at it.
Mixing it up, going in different directions.
Yes. I took this off because she got stuck in some trees down there.
That's what I thought you were going to tell me when I saw that off. I was like, that's what happened.
You ready? Can I do it again?
Yes.
Ready? Go get it. Bring it. Good girl. Oh.
At this point,
It's going to be so much better.
she could say come. and notice like how that exchange is that give and take. And notice when the dog wasn't complying, instead of there being that pressure or dominant constriction power struggle, the owner received where the dog was at, helped the dog through it, and then resumed training again. So it's a lot easier for us to actually adapt into that type of energy when we're coming from play. So if we're already in that space of play, we generally can receive more on what the other party is communicating to us, which in this case is the dog. Right? So I would invite you to use fetch in play and see what you can create with that. See what ends up happening. You could also do the same thing with tug. So you could play a game of tug with your dog and then incorporate, I'm going to play tug with you, and then we're going to do drop, and then sit, stay, and then we'll do some more tug, and then we might do down, and then we'll do some more tug, and then we might do another command, and kind of intermixing that in there can be really fun as well. I'm gonna see if I have a video, if I can pick up a video on that. Yeah, here's a cute one. So there's a lot of reasons to play tug, but on this one, I just want you to notice how the owner's gonna do play. So we got and then training drop. Now he's using leave it instead of drop. You can use any command that you want. I usually use drop to spit out, but it can be any word that you want. Fire engine, leave it, whatever. And then he's gonna add in more play. Right? Notice how many curves is going on in the body. Puppy biting, and then we're going back to more play. So that is a really good way to make dog training be a little bit more fun for the dogs as well. And I know I have this, I am on for a few feeling another one. Let me see if I can find that one, and if not, that's okay. Oh, there it is. So this one, there is some tug going on in this one as well, and this is a little kid, okay? And I want you to notice how as he's asking the dog to do commands that there's play intermixed in those commands. And notice in that space of play, you know, the dog's not dropping it and the kid's laughing, right? So when we're coming in that space of play, again, we then can receive more of what the dog's communicating us rather than just saying, I just said drop it, you better do it. Doing target, which is touching the muzzle to the hand. This cute kid is asking his dog to do commands while he is playing with his dog. Now we got it sitting there, and he's going to reward that. You could hypothetically click the sit and then throw a toy. So you could actually take out all the training altogether and just use a toy that your dog wants. And you click, and then you throw the ball, or you click, and then you play tug. Or you click, and then you play with the squeaker toy. So you are allowed to have the actual toy replace the treat. Scientifically, that'll still work as long as the toy is motivating for the dog. Okay. So here we go. And when we're coming from that space of play, we're coming from that more open type of energy. Now, every dog is different. Sometimes when you play, their arousal may increase so much that it may be difficult to have it look like it does in these videos. And if that's the case, then you may want to watch some of my other energy videos and incorporate training from a different energetic standpoint. Play may not be the answer for every household. Okay, I just want to make that clear. But there are other ways to incorporate play that can be less intense, right? So tug, fetch, some of those that can amp dogs up too high. You could do tricks. So trick training could get the dog to then, lessen their arousal level a little bit more. And that can definitely help the dog to feel a little bit more balanced. So you could train like a spin or a bow or a rollover or something from that standpoint that's a little bit more grounding and isn't going to be like, okay, I threw a ball or I started playing tug with you and really just kind of amped you up some more. Um, and when we're doing those tricks, we actually can have, a lot of fun energy that goes on between you and your dog because, a lot of times when we're training a trick, it can help us um, kind of feel like we're in that place of laughter. And a lot of times that energy is then conveyed to our dog as well. I was gonna see if I had a video on that. I just recently um, took one that doesn't look like. Oh, there it is. I found it. Yep. Here we go. So this one is actually with Wendy again. Okay. We're at here.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Okay, so we're doing.
So with bow, it's gonna be a similar hand.
Oh, okay. So we were gonna do bow, and then that one didn't. That one's a little bit harder to do, so we ended up not doing that. We want to pick the trick that's going to feel like the most balanced for you and your dog. And if the trick just feels really hard, then you might want to just go to an easier trick, if that makes sense.
I got that mixed up. The same way.
Okay.
Right? Because it takes a lot more effort for it to go up and then go in that opposite direction.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about rollover here. And basically I'm saying the side that your dog is laying on. So when it lies down, the dog is sometimes going to be laying down more on one side of the hip than the other. Okay, so if they're putting more weight on their right hip, then you probably want to get them to roll over to the right. If they're putting more weight on the left hip, then we probably want to get them to roll over more towards the left. So we do want to make sure that we have enough space. So that's what she's doing here. So I want to point that out. And some of you guys may just innately think about this, but I'm going to be honest, a lot of times when I've worked with clients on training rollover, they don't really think about it. There's something right next to their dog, and there's not enough room for the dog to roll over. So if we look here, we have plenty of space in both directions for this dog to roll over. And you can see the dog is laying on the left hip, so you would do rollover towards the left. Okay.
Right hip. So what you're gonna do with your so now it's on her left hip, right? And it's gonna change. Because she's in a playful mode and that's okay.
She wants to play with okay, fast forward this a little bit and go to when we're starting to do it, which I think is here.
So now I
dance on our dogs and manipulate them and moving them, and that again gets that controlling energy. So then now the energy behind our dog training is very manipulative and controlling. So we can get them to move through an energy that feels more team oriented, and she's going to do that by getting her dog to follow trees.
Yeah. So right now, because she's on her right hip or left hip, having her move to left would be easier.
Right. And now we got a good position here. Right. So now the dog is in a good spot where we have enough room. Okay. So I'm going to let you watch this because I think it's helpful for you guys that want to train some tricks energetically, and help with that energy in your training. Notice that, how Wendy moves her hand, okay? And notice how she doesn't do it in the way that causes the dog to roll over right away, and that's okay, all right? Because it takes practice.
That's out of the way. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and click. Do you have your clicker on you or no?
Yeah.
Great. Click. Perfect. Great.
No, leave it. I just need to dump this baggie of trees and get the baggie
So
out of my
notice when she was following and moving it wasn't around close to the dog's collar. Okay, so there was a kind of an interesting movement going on with the dog. Right, see how the head's kind of going up really high?
Okay, so a little bit more closer to her collar. So you're kind of up high. You want it a little bit lower down, kind of almost like you're tracing her collar a little bit, and then move it back.
So you can see how her hand's moving in kind of all sorts of different directions. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's to the left, sometimes it's to the right. And that's because she's learning about this, right? So when you're trying to train your dog, you're going to tap into those energies where you're not sure how to move around and such, right? And when you work with a good dog trainer, they'll hone into helping you with those movements in a way that doesn't make you feel like you're doing something wrong. It's more team oriented between you and the trainer as well. So now I'm going to help her understand it to trace the collar here.
If she's doing like this, you're going to be moving your hand like that versus out.
Okay.
Okay.
So notice how she's going to trace the collar now.
Yes, there you go. Now put there.
And then we got the dog rolling over right away. Not all dogs are going to roll over the whole way the first time you do it.
Okay.
Now look, we're all laughing, right? When we do trick training, that brings in that play and laughter, right?
That's
so
awesome.
cool energetically.
That's awesome.
I'm going to let you watch it again because I think it's fun. Dog's like flipping all over the place. Oh, getting his coordination down. Or she is, Raven. So what energy are you seeing that's going on between all three of us? Does it feel like fun and laughter? And when you're training your dog, do you do this? Do you bring in that fun and laughter? Is it more like, do as I say because I said it? And can you bring in more of this? And bring in some of the tools that I'm teaching you today to bring in more of this play? Can you do that? It's so fun. Look at us.
Okay, that's hilarious.
I'm going to tell you for most of the time when I'm training a dog to, we'll keep playing it because it's fun. When I'm training a dog to do sit or down or stay, a lot of times there's way less laughter with the owners. They may be enjoying themselves, but there's something that happens when we do these tricks. They're cute, right? And they bring in this sense of wow, that just looks so cute, and this isn't something that I really have to train my dog to do. So it takes away a lot of that have to energy and brings in a lot more fun and connectivity, right? It's kind of like when your kid comes home with homework and we say, hey, it's you got to do your homework, right? Sometimes we forget that we can make homework fun and be playful, right? And then we go and play a game and we have that energy of play with our your kids? Can you mount that over with your child during the homework? Can you mount this energy over with your dog during the training, right? So we're gonna go on to training spin in this realm as well. So we go to roll over, and now we're going to spin. And we'll get to that part. Oh, a little bit more of the rollovers. Oh, and I was gonna do bow, right? And bow didn't really line up super well for us. So and that's me demonstrating how to do bow, and energetically the dog kept going into a down. I want to show this to you because I think it's kind of cool to see how it feels a little bit differently than when we did roll over energetically. Bow. Oh, I know you're excited. I get it. So we'll go back. So basically, I'm going to move my hand down like this, okay, to the ground. And then the dog can dip their head down. But a lot of dogs will go into a down, okay? And that's what ends up happening for us, okay? So notice how this feels energetically different than when we did the rollover.
Okay, stand. Target.
Yeah, exactly. I would use the
Who's
target.
gonna get the target to get the
It
dog
really
from a
hasn't
down
been
to a stand? So again, we're not manipulating the dog back up to the stand. Okay.
From the down. She might have been a little confused. She got it.
Raven.
Straight.
Target.
So here's that movement.
Straight. And
then we
don't give
we
her
tried
seat,
to
don't
click
give her
during the bow, and the down just ended up happening.
This one can be a little tricky to do. So.
Oh, she didn't have her bun down.
No.
She was a little bit.
So energetically, it feels a little different, right? Because we're not getting the fluidity of the rollover, right? As quickly here with the bow. Now we can keep doing it. Notice the owner is being pretty calm. She was very happy during it as well, right? We're seeing her smiling, or seeing her connecting with her dog, and we could keep trying to do the bow if we wanted to, but it's like let's just go to something that's easier. So now we're gonna go to training spin. So spin and roll over for a lot of dogs are pretty easy. Now if your dog has hip issues, then you might not want to do roll over, and spin might even be too much too. But notice how I'm going to move
in front of her face, and then you move it about the height of her body. If you move it up high, a lot of times the dog will jump.
So watch my hands, okay?
And then they're gonna follow the treat and turn around.
So I'm saying you want your hand to be at the height of your dog's muzzle when you're making that circle. So they don't jump up.
She is so food motivated.
Hey, she got that really fast.
Come.
There you go. Good. That's wonderful. And
Come. Target.
And then you could add spin in there if you wanted, or whirl, or whatever command you want it to be.
Spin.
Girl.
Oh my God, the kids are gonna love this.
Target.
So right before the dog does the behavior, you could add in the spin or the whirl command. Spin, click and treat.
She is so.
And again, you can see energetically how much laughter and play is going on here when we're doing those tricks. And that's the energy that we want to bring more into our dog training, because it's just so much fun, right? So we can do we can do tricks, we can do play. Another thing that we can do is we can enrichment um, in a way that is incorporated with the training. So the dog sits and then we give them an enrichment option. They do a down command and then we do an enrichment option. They do a stay command and then we do an enrichment option. So you can also kind of incorporate play by changing up the commands. Let's do sit, let's do down, let's do target, let's do come, and change them up and make that into a game of where the dog's like, oh, what are you going to do next? Are you going to target? Are you going to sit? Are you going to down? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Da, 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 da. Obviously, if you're doing that, you want them to be commands that your dog probably knows really well. If they're a new command, then you might just want to stick with that one command for a little bit until there's a little bit more fluidity. I really, really love um, the Kong Wobbler. I think it's a great toy, and I'm going to show you. Um, let's see. It's a toy that it has a hole in it here, and basically the dog is going to push this toy around. Let's see if it shows that here. See how it moves? So the dog isn't, gonna push it like they did with the finger, right? And then it moves, and the food falls out, right? And it really can create a lot of, fun opportunity for the dog. And it also, like, the cool thing that enrichment does is it helps the dog to get some mental exercise as well. So it gets them stimulated. It gets some energy out. It gives their mind, something to do as well. I like the Buster Cube. The Buster Cube is cool too. It has a hole here that's adjustable, so you can make it smaller or bigger. And again, the dog's got to push it to get the food out. So much fun. So that one's a really cool enrichment toy that I really, really like um, as well. They also make the treat balls. Those are similar to the Buster Cube, but they're in a ball, and there's a hole in it, and the food rolls out. Um, it's easier for the dog to push. So it's easier for the food to come out. Okay. So again, that could be in replace of giving a dog a treat. You could click when they do the behavior and then give them an enrichment toy. And then what are you doing is you're actually causing the dog to then, add in some enrichment while you're training them, which is going to decrease that stress and increase that connection between you and your dog, and it just creates a lot of fun, right? You could do a Kong. So those of you that are familiar with Kongs, let's see, I have one right here. You can stuff it with just treats that the dog's got to push and fall out. You could also put peanut butter and kibble in there and then freeze it, and then the dog's got to lick it to get it out. And you could intermix that in with the play as well. The biggest thing, like, play is about kind of being in the moment and changing things up, and things are kind of a little bit more unpredictable and full of laughter and change and fluidity, right? Kind of like what we saw in that dog video at the beginning. So we want to kind of match that same energy when we're training our dogs. And I have a question to you, like, do you ever find that energy just happening when you're training your dog, yes or no? Let me know. I want to hear in the comments. And if your answer is yes, what is it that you're doing that's helping you maintain that energy? So who are you being? Who are you being? And another question you could ask yourself is, how can I be that more? Right? How can I be that playful person more? And then from there, if that isn't who you're being, then then you could ask, who can I be? Or who do I need to be to carry that energy into my dog training? And we're going to do an energetic exercise with you right now where I want you to just close your eyes and I want you to think of a time when you were playing with your dog. And if that hasn't happened with your dog, then think of a time when you were playing with a friend or a family member. And I want you to close your eyes to get into kind of a meditative experience and allow yourself to envelop into that playful experience. What were you seeing? What were you hearing? What were you feeling internally? And kinesthetically. So body sensations, or what was your hands touching? What were your feet touching? Take in all of your senses and make them very, very prominent. And bring in the visual so it's so big and bright and colorful as if you're there right now. Taking in all that playful energy, noticing the thoughts that you have in your head when you're in that playful energy. Noticing those body sensations. Feeling the fluidity going on and the laughter that's being exchanged if there's laughter. And then I want you to then map this same energy into training your dog. So now I want you to start visualizing a time that you are training your dog to do a command or any type of training. Training your dog to do leash walking or come or stay or go to its bed or be less barky at the window, whatever it may be, and ask yourself, okay, now I'm going to map over this energy that I just had with this play and bring it over into the training moment. And what do you feel here, kinesthetically, visually? What are you seeing visually? And what are you feeling kinesthetically in your body sensations? What thoughts are going into your head? How does this look differently than from the past? Take in this playful energy with your dog while you're doing the training. And I want you to make this sight big, bright, and colorful as if it's happening right now, and take in as many senses as possible. Bring it into the now. Let it be your reality in this moment in time. Breathe through your belly as you're taking it all in. Really allow this energy of play during training be enveloped into every single cell into your body. Let it fully integrate down to your soul. Project it outward into the universe. Take that same playful energy and project it all around you, projecting that play onto your dog. And as you're doing this, and you're fully taking it in, ask yourself this question: how can I incorporate more play into my life with my dog? And I want you to really listen to what your higher being, the universe, or your higher self, or your dog is telling you as you ask this question. Write it in the comments below. Who do you need to be to incorporate more play in your dog training? How can you incorporate more play into your dog training? I wonder how I can have more play in my dog training. I'm curious. This is an experiment. Who do I need to be more playful when I'm training my dog? Make sure you write those answers down. If you're uncomfortable writing in the comments, then write it down on a piece of paper. Otherwise, write it in the comments so that I can help you and read them and have an interaction with you. Now, take that in and let that be your reality. On incorporating more play in there. And I even done games with, where two people are calling the dogs back and forth, or they go and hide in different rooms in the house, and they're calling the dog back and forth in different patterns and areas that gives the dog exercise, mental stimulation, and incorporates that play in there. Or even doing target, where you have where the dog is touching the muzzle to your hand, and there's a person here ask the dog to target, and another person here, and they ask the dog to target, another person here, and ask the dog to target. And it ends up being play between the different family members, right? Because you're turning it into a game. So you're taking the actual dog training and making it into a game so that it energetically feels different. This is a really cool game that I like. It's called Finagle. And it can be a little challenging to find online, but it really incorporates that play when you're training your dog. And you can think of Finagle as luring. That's all it is. And if I were to pick up one of these, it says jump shot. Finagle your dog to jump up off the ground. Right? So that's not something that, a lot of people want to train their dogs to do for an obedience reason, but for a fun and play reason, absolutely. And you can then finagle your dog to learn to jump. And some of them in the world say finagle your dog into a sit or into a watch. And you're changing the way that you're training your dog by changing it to get your dog to sit to finagle your dog into a sit. You see how it's energetically different? The finagle feels more like play. Get your dog in the sit feels more like control. So you want to come in that space of play, and if getting a game like this or incorporating a game on your own causes you to incorporate more play into you and your dog's life, it will increase more compliance and be energetically different. And more fun, increase your aliveness and happiness and joy in between your dog. Your relationship will increase into more love. So my question to you is, what will you do to incorporate more play with your dog during training? And I would love, love, love to hear what you're going to do to incorporate more training, more play with your dog. And I was looking for, there it is. My screen share. So we could also ask it, how will you increase play with your dog during training? So comment below and let me know how you're personally going to do that. There is no right or wrong answer, but if you write it in the comments, it's going to get it more into your long-term memory. It's going to project it out in the universe so that it becomes more of your reality, but other people can read it too, so you're going to benefit them. It allows me to read it so I can know, did I explain this to the point of understanding? And it also allows me to personally help you too. So again, watch the replay, comment below, and share this video with others. We want to help you. We want you to have fun with your dog training. Right? Cool. So, I am again doing a live in-person event at Chagrin Yoga. So if you are liking these Facebook Lives on the energy behind dog training, please, please, please come with me and see with me in person at the Energy Behind Dog Training Workshop in Chagrin Yoga. Woo! It's going to be one of a kind. It's the first time I'm doing this in Ohio. I'm super, super excited about it. It's on Saturday, April 29th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. I totally want to see you there. I want to interact with you guys. It's going to be really personalized. So I'm going to be doing energetic processes depending on the people that show up and depending on what the people want in that workshop. But again, it's going to be going on underneath not just the tools of the training, but the energy that you're carrying while you're training your dog. Because when you are aware of the thoughts and your emotions and how those affect your actions, when you're using the training tools, you actually can create faster results and results that are more connected and loving and increase your relationship between you and your dog. So this is a must attend event, going on the energy behind dog training. This link is the comments pinned at the top, so you can pop on there to register. If you register online, it's $25. If you come at the door, it's $30. So register ahead of time so you can save that $5. And my question to you is, what topics would you like to see in a Facebook Live? Would love to know, because I want to help you. So let me know what those are. Write them in the comments. And you might be the perfect fit to work with four-legged scholars. Do you want to feel empowered because you want to get your dog to listen to you versus I'm going to send my dog off for someone to do training for me? Do you want to do positive methods versus punishment-based methods? You want to train your dog with food and play and fun versus punishment? I could be a really good fit for you. Do you want your training to be personalized and tailored to you, cookie cutter to you, versus you're just given a manual that a trainer just gives to a whole bunch of different people? I am very personalized. I want you to succeed. So if these things ring true to you, I could be a really, really good fit for you. And because you attended today, I will give you 50% off a private session with me. You just have to, you got to tell me that you were at this Facebook Live in order to get that 50% off. And you can tell me during a free phone chat with me. You can set up a free phone chat with me really, really easily, and then we can talk about how I can personally help you and your dog. All right? And that link is pinned in the comments below. We can help you no matter where you live. So if you live in northeastern Ohio, we can help you in person or online through Zoom. If you live somewhere else, great, you got the internet, we can help you. So the videos I showed you today, my client lives somewhere else and not in the same state that I live in, and I was helping her. And a lot of the videos that I was showing you on the other people were people that I worked with online. There are many, many benefits I can do online that I can't do in person. There's many benefits I can do in person that I can't do online. So, which one is the best fit for you? Well, again, let's just set up that personal phone chat and figure out which route is the best for you, okay? And you can set up that phone chat by going to this link. It's pinned in the comments below at the top. This is the link that you can go to find out more about the services that I offer, and it's pinned in the comments at the top as well. And again, if you're loving this, get to Chagrin Yoga. Sign up for that workshop on the energy behind dog training. It's almost a week away. It's a week from this coming Saturday. I want to see you there. I want to meet you in person, and it will be a one-of-the-kind event that will transform your relationship between you and your dog energetically. I hope to see you there. And I don't want to forget to tell you too. So next week, of course, I will be doing another Facebook Live every single Wednesday. I'll be doing that at 2 p.m. And it will be another one on the energy behind dog training. I'm not sure what the exact topic will be, but it will be into that realm, just to help you guys get a feel on what I mean by the energy behind dog training. And then, bam, the 29th is here, and that workshop is there. Come and see me. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.